Kan du ge mig en vatten där, Peter? Kan du ge mig en vatten? Fast han är lik en skådis, eller om det är fish.
First of all, welcome again to Turkey. How was? I'd like to start with how was last night.
It was really good, fantastic. It was, I think it was the biggest crowd that we had ever playing on our own, actually.
Yeah.
Not including festivals, but for our own gigs. It was, it was a lot of people, and we played really good like yesterday, and the crowd was fantastic, and it's all a nice experience, nice heavy metal experience.
Yeah. What do you recall from the last visit, the open air festival you played here in Istanbul?
Well, not that much. It was a bit stressful. We lost our equipment on the way over, so we had to borrow some stuff. And I remember my amplifier didn't have an on button. But the crowd was good. I can't remember if we played. We probably played like shit, but the crowd was really good, and we had a good time. But it was just a brief visit here, so we didn't get to see anything, and we didn't get to meet that many fans. Or I just remember that the gig was good, and then I made a fool of myself in front of Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah. Have you had the chance to see some places in Istanbul this time?
Not so much. No, we've been. We did the gig, and we were so tired because we had to leave Athens the day before at 5:30 in the morning, and we need to get some sleep. So that was what we were doing: sleeping in Istanbul and then rocking.
Then let's continue with the Ghost Reveries. Nearly all of the world rock and metal media chose it as the #1 album of the year. Finally, the world seemed to discover Opeth's, the ones that haven't heard of or ignored the band. Now they are discovering the band and praising it. What do you think about it?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's we've been struggling for a long time and playing. We've been doing this band for 16 years now, so it's good that we're getting some recognition. But it's been a steady rise pretty much since we did the Blackwater Park album, because that's when we started touring. And once you start touring and working as hard as we do, people are going to discover your band, and there's no other way if you're a death metal band. If you're going to be a studio band playing death metal, you're not going to go anywhere, and nobody's ever going to hear about you. So, we're quite fortunate to be in that situation where we can tour so much as we do. And Ghost Reveries, obviously, we're very happy with that record, and I'm happy about the fact that we get good reviews and stuff like that. But that's, doesn't really mean that much, because next year we'll be at the bottom list of the worst records released that year.
And how do you think your new record label's effect on this discovery? Roadrunner has an effect on that. It's obvious.
Yeah, they've been acting like a record label. They have been promoting the album, and they have been hooking us up with lots of press and interviews and stuff like that, which is a good thing. We don't particularly enjoy doing interviews that much, but we do it because we want to promote this band. We want to promote the new record. So they've been doing a really good job, actually, and they haven't been interfering with the artistic side of the band, which is a good thing, because the record label people, they don't know anything. So they've been treating us really, really good so far, and the signing for them, I think, it was a good thing for us, because we got a proper record label behind us, and for them it was, I think, a credibility type signing, because they got so much bad words about Roadrunner the last couple of years.
Yeah, they're too commercial.
They're very commercial, and they release some stuff that's not. It doesn't have any heart or soul. It's just meant to.
Okay, then let's talk about a little bit the past. I read that once a friend of yours, a punk friend of yours, make you listen a Yes album. Then you thought about including progressive elements in death metal. What was the album, firstly? Do you remember this?
I can't remember what album it was. I think it was like a compilation, like a best-of record. but I can't really remember. But he played me. I think there were songs mainly off of Fragile and Close to the Edge, which remains my favorite. Yes, records. And I've always been into long songs. You know, like my favorite Maiden song is "Rime of the Ancient Mariner." It's one of my favorites.
You started
Uh,
already partying.
but you know, I just saw a way how we could do something differently. Prior to us bringing in that progressive rock element in our music, we were pretty much a substandard death metal band without any future.
Then you you take maybe not the right word, but you took over the band after I forgot the name right now, but
David.
yeah, he left the band and you started singing just because you know how to scream. You said something like that, and things started to move on. And you had lots of lineup changes at that time. It seems like it's a hard job to be in Opeth, or
No, it's you know, it's for a band that's been around for that amount of years that we've been around. You know, it's when we started the band, we were kids. You know, I was 16 years old. You know, and you're still in school. You don't know what you want to do with your future. You know, the whole band thing when you're a kid, it's just a dream. You know, so we never expected us to get signed. We never expected us to tour or to make money or anything. And during those 16 years that we've been together, of course, there's been some member changes, but I don't think it's exclusive to this band. You know, any band that's been around for that amount of years have lineup changes. You know, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, everybody had.
some minor
Yeah.
lineup changes. You always in your interviews emphasis on you're not afraid, if you don't afraid about experimenting new things. But is there a limit for that? I mean, do you sometimes say no, this is too much for Opeth right now? We can't do it. Maybe later on.
No, we're not really scared of experimenting, but we don't want to experiment for the sake of, you know, we want it to sound good. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is good songs, you know. But we have such a wide range of influences, and all the guys in the band, so it would be impossible for us to stay purist to any form of music. We need to incorporate all different styles of music in order for this band to survive, I think, and to make it interesting for ourselves mainly, you know. So experimentation is essential for this band, but it's not something that we like for every new record. We just try to come up with some outrageous ideas what we're going to do. You know, at the end of the day, we're always going to concentrate on, you know, the quality of the song rather than being weird, you know.
So you always write songs in the borders of rock song, metal song forms, not long ones, progressive ones, but forms are always in metal forms, right?
Well, I guess, you know, we're not really conventional in the songwriting. It's not verse and chorus, you know. It's a lot of stuff happening in pretty much all the songs that we do. Just the way we write songs, you know. There's no reason why we should stick to a format, you know. You know, listen to 2 Minutes to Midnight by Iron Maiden and try to do a song like that. We whatever comes out, that's going to be the song, you know. We don't really think too much about formats.
Okay. And with the years passing on, your fans also evolved with Opeth's mentality. They find similarities with their personal lives, I guess. And you guys change in some ways, and your listeners, loyal fans, are changing. It's something most of the bands can wish for. I mean, have a following like that, and getting the main idea behind the albums and stuff.
Well, I think, you know, it's our fans are probably their favorite eras of this band because we've been around for such a long time. But there is some people who've been with us since the first album, and I think it makes me especially happy when a fan come up to me saying that he loves the new album and I've been listening to you guys since the first record. You know, that it makes me happy. It's like he's been evolving together with us and understanding the music and the progressions that we made. But I guess, you know, every one of our fans have their favorite eras of Opeth. You know, if it's like the first two records or the third or fourth record. You know, it's always like that.
But they don't seem to give up listening to the band. They don't
No,
like
we
maybe
have-
that much.
Well, there is, you know, there's a lot of. I guess there's a lot of fans who listen to us in the beginning and who hates us now or something. You know, that's always the case. But there's also a lot of fans who've been with us for a long time, which always is kind of it makes us happy. You know, I don't think we're one of those passing trends in that sense. You know, like the whole nu metal scene, or you know, people get into it because it's a genre.
Yeah.
I think we like to think that we are beyond trends.
Yeah. But last year you toured in Sounds of the Underground tour, and it was the core of the trends.
Yeah.
The bands were. How did you? What was your experiences in that kind of a?
It was
festival?
good, you know. It was not so much of a musical event. It was more a party, you know. We got to meet many of, got to know many of the guys in the other bands, and basically went out drinking with them every day. So that was my main memories from that tour, was partying a lot. The gigs themselves was like 45 minutes long, and we played 3-4 songs, and didn't really do much for us. But there was a lot of people, and I think on that bill we definitely stuck out as the odd type band, and we didn't, you know, obviously didn't sound like any of the other bands in that bill. So I think we probably gained a few fans doing that, but I didn't particularly enjoy any of the other bands, you know, with the exception of Clutch and Strapping on Lead, maybe.
Yeah. And this tour after the Ghost River is the longest one, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, I guess I don't really know, but we toured a lot for Deliverance and Damnation, but that was also because those albums were done at the same time. 2 albums meant 2 tours, and then we did the DVD and toured for the DVD or whatever. So that was a long tour, but now we've done 5 tours for this record, and we still have our work cut out for us until Christmas, maybe.
Yeah. It's a really
And
long time.
maybe beyond Christmas, but you got to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I read something like that. I guess this is why I'm asking is do you miss home, or are you happy and satisfied?
Of course, I miss home. I have a daughter, you know, I have a wife and cats and my life, family back home, you know, so I miss home every day, but this is also what I do, you know, and we're not in a position to complain too much because we've been struggling with this band for such a long time, and it's a childhood dream come true in a way. So I ain't complaining, but it's a love-hate relationship with touring. You know, I don't like the idea of going out on tour, but when I'm out there, it's all right.
What else do you do when you're on tour, apart from rocking on stage and sound check stuff, kind of thing? What else do you? How do you spend your time?
I don't do that much, you know. Yeah, sleep. We, drink, listen to music, watch movies, PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's childish stuff, you know, pretty much.
Most of the bands play PlayStation when they're on road, I guess.
Yeah, well, I play PlayStation all the time, but it's, you know, I'm probably the laziest guy in the band. You know, the other guys tend to go for walks or see the environment around where we're playing, but I tend to sleep a lot, and I just want to get the work done, and I don't, you know, I'm interested in seeing different cities, cultures, whatever, but I'm so goddamn lazy. It's impossible.
Well, I want to ask you about something, Scott Wilson and Porcupine Tree. With the help of Opeth's name, lots of extreme music fans learned more about them, and I know that some of them really liked a lot the band Porcupine Tree, really get in. You seem to help them, and he seems to help you. It's kind of relationship. What would you like to tell about Scott Wilson and Porcupine Tree?
Steve Wilson.
Ah,
Well, it's one of my favorite bands of all time, I guess. I discovered them in '95, I think it was. 95, 96 maybe. And it was something I've been looking for. At that time I was heavily into symphonic rock music and progressive rock music, and was digging around the second-hand stores and picking up vinyls, but there wasn't any band that was around today that I really liked playing that type of music until I discovered Porcupine Tree. And I'm still a massive fan of Porcupine Tree and Steve's songwriting, you know, and he's become a really good friend of mine now, and obviously we've been working together, and I think it's a relationship that, you know, helps each other, you know. They have definitely gained a wider crowd through the metal audience, and I see them in Metal Hammer magazine interviews and all kinds of heavy metal magazines, which is obviously really good for them. And I think they've turned into a heavier band than they used to be. And for us, we probably gained a few progressive rock fans that never heard of us. And I think it's harder for us because we have the screaming vocals, and a lot of people don't like that, you know, which is something I can understand. But we definitely gained fans from that type of crowd.
Yeah. And Travis Smith, he's one of the members. Like you're working with him for a long time, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Will you continue working with him first?
Well, you never know. You know, I really like the guy, and I like the stuff he's done for us. And we tend to talk. We tend to be in touch, you know, between records. And you know, he came out to see us on our last tour, and he's great. You know, it's if we use someone else, it's because we see a style that we want for the next album. But generally, everything is very rushed, and there's time pressure and everything. And Travis is very quick, you know, and he's very open for ideas, and he tends to understand quickly what you're after. So if I send him an email saying,